Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be a fun one. I made this Notion board of every series that I'm in the middle of, which is, let me count. There's 29 series. I don't know how I actually distinctly decided that I'm in the middle of this series. Some of them are interconnected standalones, so I think some of the romances, so the Edens are there, and I just put in books that I have read, either the first in the series, even if I don't plan on finishing them, I put them in here just to see how many I have. And I actually did all the books in that series too, so the Mistborn series is #1, and I have other ones. I have some that aren't released yet. I have some that I'm not finishing, some that I am finishing, and then some that I don't know if I'm gonna finish or not. But the ones that are highlighted are the ones that I'm planning on finishing or see myself reading. And so the blue is actually what I'm planning on actually finishing out. And then there's also some that I'm just maybe I will, maybe I won't, because I'm curious, or maybe I'll read some of them and not all of them. But yeah, so the Off-Campus series by L. Kennedy, I don't know if I want to read this or not. It's here if I ever need to look back on it. In this video, I'm going to be continuing series that I'm in the middle of. I think the first one I want to keep getting into is the Beartown series from Frederick Bachman. I have all of them on my Kindle. So right now, the next one I have to read is Us Against You. So this is part of the Beartown series. I gave Beartown 4.5, as you can see. And yeah, I really liked Beartown. So we're gonna get into this. I've been meaning to read this and start this video for a while, but then I had to stop because I was not reading, and I was just I don't want to start a book and then be in the middle of a book when I'm supposed to be reading a funny story. So now that this is out of the way, I can read. The next series I think I'm gonna read is, I might read the first book of the Bad Reputation Duet by Kristen Becker Ritchie. I finished the whole Addicted Calloway sister series. This follows characters introduced later in that series, and people say if you just want to finish it out fully, get the whole scope. And I did like the two characters that this is about. People don't really like the Like Us series about the Addicted Calloway children that much, so I don't think I'm ever gonna read that. But I think I want to do that one, and then there's gonna be the last. In this video, we're gonna be reading the second book out of the Greenbone saga. So I read Jade City probably July of 2023, and I remember a lot of what happens in Jade City, and I just never kept going. I liked it, and I think I could really learn to love it. I think the third book in this is gonna be Jade War, which is the second book out of the Greenbone saga. So cheer that I'm actually trying to finish a series. So never really do this. So I used to be a full on if I start a series and I'm gonna finish it right away. I don't know when this shift happened, but I just haven't been doing that. So I think I'm gonna read Us Against You, which is the second book of the Beartown series. Maybe Whatever It Takes from the Bad Reputation Duet by Kristen and Becca Ritchie, and then maybe Jade War. Right now, I'm feeling Us Against You. So I'm gonna read Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So that's this week's video. Amy's gonna finally continue with some series and not just read random things. So yeah, I'm wearing my One Direction shirt, 1D. It's a couple days later, and I actually just started reading earlier today. Us Before You, You Before Us, Us Against You. It's the second book in the Beartown series. One thing about Frederick Bachman's writing, or the translation of the writing, I feel I have to read every single word, which is something I don't really do that much. I'm reading everything in between the lines, and I'm really trying to understand all these things. I really like Frederick Bachman's writing. I just really enjoy it. I think there's so many carefully crafted lines. I'm on page 72 before I start reading for the night, and I've highlighted 25 things already. And so it's just so crazy to put into perspective how much I care about these lines that he writes, and his the way he writes, which is his prose. Yeah, I just really like the way he writes. I like the way he builds these characters, because there's so many characters and there's so many POVs that we're going to, and it feels you actually know these characters. I've almost teared up a couple times, but because I feel I have to think a lot when I'm reading his work, I want to just shut my brain off and read and get everything. But I feel his writing is since I read it so carefully, it feels it's going slower, and I feel that's when I know that I'm reading slow, my mind travels a lot. I think about oh, I should be on my phone, or oh, I should be reading this quicker, or I I'm like just thinking about a lot of different things and my mind goes a lot of places when I'm reading slowly like that. And while sometimes like reading with music on doesn't help me that much, like I can read with or without music, I feel like I have to read Frederick Bachman's writing with music, because last night like I read 18 pages, not even warranting a Goodreads update for me. And I'm religious in my Goodreads update, but I was like, okay, I don't even want to do that. I was going so slow, and like my mind kept traveling. And then I was reading earlier today, like I actually put a playlist on, a Beartown playlist on it, and like the music is so like melancholy and like it's so beautiful, and it's like I just like the music that it's on this playlist is so good. It's like it really put me in the spot, and I actually got to read a lot of it without feeling like my mind was wandering. And by a lot of it I got to read 50 pages. I'm about to go shower, hop into bed, and try to read more. That's the update. 72 pages in. Hi guys, I'm back. Today is Sunday. So yesterday I finished Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I think I'm giving it, my final rating for that one is 4 or 4.25 stars. I went through an emotional roller coaster reading that book. Actually sobbed so many times, and I think it's just the way like Frederick Bachman writes. He leaves you off on like such a cliffhanger, and then you have to keep reading. After you keep reading, you're just like, oh, like what I thought would happen didn't really happen. So I was just like, I was psychologically like going crazy during that book. But this one directly follows the aftermath of what happens in Beartown. You can't even see it. What happens in Beartown, which is the first book. So I can't really say anything. And so all you have to know is that in this town, hockey plays such a big role. And so right now their hockey like club is not doing well. And so there's a rival town and hockey team called Head. It's H-E-D. So I say it Head in my head. There's a rival hockey team Head, and then the hockey team of Beartown is not doing well, and so there's that rivalry between that. And while I'm saying it, it sounds so boring. It's just so much more than just hockey, and it really follows the minds of the characters. You're like so invested in the characters that it's just like phenomenal writing. It like the way he constructs his sentences, it's just insane. So read that, 4.25 or 4 stars. For reference, I gave Beartown 4.5 stars. I feel like Beartown followed like more of a plot, and this one is just like following the characters of that. And so I feel like that's totally valid. Like you want to follow a plot and like see, and then also follow along characters in Beartown in the first book. But in the second book, you can really just like let loose and follow whatever happens. And then I said I was gonna read Whatever It Takes by Kristen Becker Ritchie. This is the first book out of the Bad Reputation duet, which follows Garrison and Willow, and you meet those characters in the Addicted Calloway Sister series. I think it's the latter half of that. And I have read the epilogue novel, which I think like encompasses time periods after the Bad Reputation duet. So I knew like a little bit about them. I knew like they ended up together, of course. Like I knew that they were together. Before I started reading it, I went to like look it up, and there's this one book called The Bad Reputation Duet. I think it's called Bad Reputation. So there's 3 books in the Bad Reputation Duet. So the first book is Whatever It Takes. The second book is Wherever You Are, and those encompass the Bad Reputation Duet. But there's also this other book, and so in Whatever It Takes and the second one, I don't remember what it's called, there is a past present timeline. So it shows them when they were 17 and then shows them like modern day, like 20ish. Then the second book has that past present timeline as well. But this 800-page book called The Bad Reputation, it has both those books combined but in chronological order. So it's not past and present, it's just past all the way up to the present. And then there's also like bonus stuff that isn't seen in the first 2 original books. I'm not doing that. I'm reading the OG original books. So I'm reading the past, present, interwoven. After I finished Us Against You, I started immediately Whatever It Takes. This is it was a 300-page book, and I finished it last night. So what do I have to say about Whatever It Takes? I don't know. I don't know what I want to say about Whatever It Takes, but I think I got like a different side of Willow and Garrison. I like got to know Garrison and Willow a lot more, and you can really feel for Garrison because I feel like he was just introduced like kind of rashly. He wasn't introduced rashly, he just wasn't able to be like explored in the Addicted Calloway Sister series because it just follows along like the core 6, especially in like Some Kind of Perfect. But I feel like reading Whatever It Takes and seeing the core 6 in his eyes and like through his lens is so good. Like I just really like I really like found myself back into this found family like vibe. It's just way like fluffier and lighter. I wouldn't say that. Okay, it's not lighter and like source like head space. I don't know, it's more like upbeat than a lot of like the Magnolia Parks found family, even though like there's some like, I don't know, it's less toxic, definitely. I don't know, I just feel like they mesh so well together in the Addicted Calloway Sister series, so it's just fun to read. After I finished Whatever It Takes, the first one, it left off on like a note that I was like, I have to automatically know what's gonna happen in the second. So I started reading the second. I got like 50 pages in, and I think I'm satisfied for now, and I'm gonna start the next book in this video, which I already started, which is Jade War by Fonda Lee. 20 pages in right now. I literally had to look up the summary of Jade City. Like I should have just reread the book, but didn't want to. So I looked up a whole summary about basically what happens, and I feel like I'm kind of understanding it again right now. It's just a lot of names that I just don't really remember right now. The magic system's not crazy to like think about because it is an urban fantasy. It's very tame, and it's mostly like talking about like clan conflict. I remember like a lot of the stuff what happens. I just don't really remember like what a stone eye is. So I had to look up what a stone eye was. Then I had to look up how it ended. Yeah, I remember the characters. Okay, I don't know. Can't say much. Why did I choose this video to make? Because I can't say anything about the plot of these books because they're in series. In the Island Nation Keko, they have a bunch of different clans in here, and so we follow the nope. Oh my god, what is our clan? We follow the No Peak clan. I can't say who is the ruler because that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. Oh, Kekon. I thought it was Keko. This is where we are. This is where we're at. And in this world, the more jade you have and the more jade you wear, the higher power you are. And jade just projects what you are out. And then there's clan wars. Yeah, that's the book. 3 chapters in, and let's see how long it takes me. There's almost 600 pages in this book. I'm on page 21. I'm on page 21. But yeah, finished 2 books, Us Against You and Whatever It Takes. I'll come back with my rating for Whatever It Takes. It was just highly bingeable. This is out of pocket and I only have 100 pages left, but if something happens to these 2 specific characters, you'll never hear the end of it from me. I'll never keep on going with the story. Actually, never say never, but there's like a big fat chance if something happens at the end of this book to two specific characters, if it's like bad what I'm thinking, or if it's like amicable and it's like fine, I'll be okay with it. But if it's like bad, Fonda Lee probably not gonna reach the next book until like next year. Spoke too soon. This is better than the other outcome I'm thinking of, but both could happen still. Both could happen still. I want a whole book dedicated to them. Just them. Just them. They're the only thing I care about. Finished it just in time for my April wrap up. Guys, this is how you know I'm obsessed. This is what I bought. I bought this yesterday. Thank God for Amazon Prime shipping. I finished Jade Legacy yesterday. You saw some of my reactions. Absolutely insane. I cannot get over the second half of this book, especially the last like 150 pages. What a roller coaster of emotions that I went through in this book. I absolutely adore two characters, and I wish the best for them in this behemoth of a last book. I wish the best of them, and I just want crumbs of them. If only crumbs of them exist in this book, I'll be happy. This book, I'm giving it 4.25 stars. I think that's my final rating. I love this book. I feel like it would have been higher if I really enjoyed the first half of the book, and I just didn't care about the first half of the book that much, and it took me a while to like actually get into it. So I started reading this April 27th. I only read 21 pages the first day, so that was like at night, right after I finished whatever it takes. And then at the end of April 28th, I read to page 103. That took a while for me, and I feel like it was like, it was just like very hard to like get into the universe again after so long, and like remembering these names and like remembering the dynamics between everybody and getting into the actual politics, because the politics play such a big part in this book. And then April 29th, I finished the day off at page 319. That's 54% of the book. And then April 30th, yesterday, I read 45% of this book, or almost like 270-ish pages. I don't know, that's a number I literally just whipped out. I read for so long yesterday, got my heart ripped out, basically. Insane ending of the book. I think the second half of the book is just so good and so strong, and like the build up to the second half was necessary, but I feel like it could have been condensed down a little bit more. There's so much politics in this book that it is a little like kind of like hard to get into, because it's just so much political like conflicts in this world, and within the Caw family, within the No Peak clan, within the Mountain clan. It's just a lot in this like universe, and so that is a little like, it's a little hard to like actually get into it a little bit. But when you're in, you're in. Like, I'm so excited for the third book. But I really enjoyed the series. I really highly recommend if you really want a political fantasy world. This is urban fantasy, so since this is urban fantasy, sometimes I'm like out of the loop, and like I'm picturing like mob like crime movies, like old movies like in the 70s and like 50s, just with Asian characters, and like I'm thinking about like that like mob aspect of a movie, and then like they're like bring in some like really modern stuff like TVs or like going on planes, and we're just like, I forget that that's like a thing, because this is urban fantasy, so it's like it kind of takes me out of the loop for a little bit. Also, Fonda Lee, like while I really enjoy this book, I feel like she is so descriptive, and that's kind of to her detriment, for me at least, because I'm just like so like checked out at that point. Like I'm just like, there's like paragraphs of description that I'm just like, I could skip this. I could skim and skip. Like, since I'm so out of the loop at that point, I like want to go on my phone, and then I'm just like sucked into my phone. Yeah, I could never do a screen time video, because my screen time is 7 hours every single day. 7 hours plus every single day. I don't know who is only on their phone for 4 hours. Like, that's insane to me. In this book, I feel like the first half of the book and in Jade City, I just didn't really care about our main characters that we are following, like the Kaw family. I just didn't really feel like anything like super towards them, but you saw me sob in the end of this book. So like I like something has happened, and I just really started to care about these characters a lot more than I was expecting to care about them. I really love 2 characters specifically. I love the Kaw family now, which is something like I didn't really like expect to like be so attached to them, but I cannot wait till the next book. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Love it. 4.25 stars. And yeah, that's the ending for this continue on series. I think it really helped me want to continue on and finish the Beartown series and the series. Actually, I'm gonna finish on the rest of all these books, because I'm reading the second book of Whatever It Takes in the Bad Reputation duet right now. I'm like halfway through that one right now. What a success. What a success. What a success, guys. We did it. We made me want to try to finish off the series. But I just know that the third book, Jade Legacy, and The Winners, which is the third book of the Beartown series, these are both 700 pages. So cut me some slack if it takes me a while to get to these. Yeah, I'm really excited for both of these. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me continuing on with the series that I'm in the middle of, and I hope to dwindle some of the ongoing series that I'm in down by the end of the year, and this series is gonna really help me. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching me react to some of my favorite books now. I just really love these series. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.